All right, we're recording. Go ahead, pal.
Hello?
Yep, go ahead.
I can't hear anyone.
I can hear you, John.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we can hear
All
you.
right. All right, here we go. All right, guys, center of influence, the referral process. Let's get going with this stuff. All right, the things that we will cover today, let me minimize the screen, are what is a COI? What are the benefits of a COI? Why do they refer us? Where can you find COIs? The COI roles that qualify as a COI, and the meeting process, and we'll do a quick Q&A. All right, let's get started. All right, so what is a center of influence? I think we all know the answer, but this is a definition I saw from True Methods and that I think we've all kind of come together with. But COIs are partners that have COI are partners that have the same target market and are comfortable sharing qualified leads. These are what we should call our high quality referrals resources. They're close partnerships that you will work hard to form. And now Gary, in his video, he talked about this is things that we should do. Now, I don't know if you guys listen to Tony Robbins, but one of the things that I heard in one of his recent videos is that we should turn our shoulds into must. And so this is something that we must do. I think in order for us to be successful in getting referrals from COIs and making it worth our time is that this is something that we must start doing and finding and getting quality referral resources. So that is a COI, all right? Moving on, benefits of a good or a great COI. I put good to great. I'm not sure if any of you guys have read the book Good to Great by, is it Tim Collins? One of them, Collins. Basically, the summary of that book, and the reason why I put it is the book is about turning companies from good companies to great companies. And I think it's important as we think about who our COIs are, we don't want good COIs, we want great COIs. And the reason why we need them is a couple things here, a couple reasons. They are an important component to our sales engine. They are going to be generating a lot of our warm leads. They're going to help us build our warm 250. A lot of us are not quite there yet. I know I'm not there yet. And so if we have a good quality COI, they can help us. All of them can help us build our warm 250 and get it to where we want. Our COIs, they deal with the same decision makers. So you'll see that the ones that we want on our list in our Sweet 16, we want to make sure that we qualify them and that they understand, or we understand who they are reaching out to and who they actually deal with for their COIs and their connections. So they deal with the same DM. They want to grow their business just like us. So they have the same motivation. The motivation obviously is to bring in new business. They are great networkers, as should we, as well as we should be. They approach business and client results the same way we do. They will bring us deals and opportunities, kind of similar to what I said, and we have the opportunity to make money in terms of commissions. I put 4 digits to 6-digit commissions. I don't think any of us hit 6 digits except for Robert, came pretty close, but we all have the opportunity to kind of make that kind of money by developing and having great COIs. All right, next, why do COIs refer us business? I think I believe people refer business based on feeling. They have to like you. If they don't like you, based on whatever it is, more than likely you're not going to refer business. So a lot of this has to do with relationship building. Goodwill. People refer because of goodwill. You might have referred them business, and so they feel like they should refer you business. And again, just because they feel like maybe they don't have the right IT partner out there. So that's a reason why referring business is important. Trusting one another. Now this last item here, this was put on there from a previous slide, but if you could say this 5 times or 10 times fast, kudos to you. But it basically says there are people who love you and love the work you do that have people they love too who need to love you. So if you guys really were to break that down, there are people who love you individually, and that love to work with you. Now we got to find those people that love them too, that want to work with us and that want to love us. And so that's something that, kind of like hard for me to understand in the beginning, but Again, try to say that 5 to 10 times. But the purpose of it is we want to get our COIs to love us. In addition, get their COIs or their network to love us as well. All right. Now, where can you find COIs? I think this is an easy answer, and I put everywhere, literally everywhere. Anywhere you go, anything you do, you can find the COI. But here are some ideas that was already on the list and I got from True Methods. One of the things I just added was clients. And so we talk about Net Promoter. Clients are a good way to find COIs. And what I mean by that is through the partners that they work with. So maybe it's our point of contact, or it could be a salesperson through organization, or even just an executive. And they have people that they work with that help them with their business. And so if we can find who those people are, these are some good COIs that we can also reach out to. Networking events, groups, trade shows. I like to do networking events and certain groups. My main one is I like to work through the chamber and the events that they host. I know with Robert and Jason, Provisors and Trust Integrity and Council One have been good ones for you guys. And so these are other options that you can, reach out to, or other companies or events or organizations that you could do to generate COIs. Cal CPA, church, kids school. I put airplane on here just because I met someone off an airplane who's a CEO of a company that became a COI and also a potential customer. And so just by having conversations, guys, literally having a conversation about anything, asking about what they do. They talk about what they ask you what you do. And so it can just be in any atmosphere that you're in, just again, creating some type of small talk. Vendors that the TAMs like. So another COI is some of the TAMs have their own COIs that they use. Partners. And it could be like, from firewall to internet to phone companies. And so if they're not coming from us, usually they have their own resources of COIs or people that we can connect with. And then last is also friends and family. All right, what are the CIO roles that qualify? So first, I think I put executive management because I think this is the most important. So if you can actually get a COI that's in the C-level position, CEO, CFO, COO, you're really in good hands. And so I know a lot of us I have one through a CFOs to go, and I think Jason done as well, and Robert started one. But these are consulting guys. These are guys that are out there looking for business, and these are the guys we want to talk to, that we want to stay connected with, have relationships with, because anytime they go on to a new client, we have a great opportunity if the relationship is good in working with them. So the C-level, CPAs, attorneys, finance manager kind of falls under the CFO role a little bit. Partners of firms, principals, executive directors as it relates to nonprofits, board members. Lately, I've been working and I joined a couple of boards, and sometimes a lot of board members are principals or owners or executives of other businesses. So these are ones that also I think is important for you guys to either join or be a part of, and also look out for COIs. IT directors and managers, I put sometimes is kind of a place where you can start. I wouldn't say they're the best COIs to kind of go after, but they're definitely ones that you can kind of have a relationship with. And then point of contacts with clients. Other roles to consider are business bankers, insurance brokers, sales and marketing. I use a lot of internet and phone providers and data. So those are also companies that can refer you business. The only thing is that not every single one of them, for me at least, is generating enough or a lot. And so again, kind of molding them into being that right COI for you. And we'll talk a lot about that in just a little bit. And there's some other ones, staffing, payroll, and property managers. I put property managers and building owners. I don't know how many of you guys actually have any of these on your COIs now, but they're good. When Mike and I went to concert in the park or whatever in Livermore at Wentworth, one of the owners that also is a B of A customer, he owns a building. He owns a building with 50 tenants. And so he's willing to really introduce us to some of those building or to those customers, and also as tenants kind of move into his building. So, nurturing that kind of relationship and having a partner like that can also be valuable. Let's talk about the process. um, in the process, first is the FTA with the COI. So I'm going to move one slide ahead real quick. So this is the kind of the process and how we should go about once we've established who that COI is. First, we have to locate them. Once we locate them, again, it could be from any of the things that we mentioned above in the previous slides. But after having a conversation with them, you have to decide whether or not if this person is actually worth having a FTA or next step with. And so you want to be specific. And those conversations, again, if it's at a networking event, if it's at a trade show, if it's at a provider's event, usually you create some type of small talk. You want to know if, based on the conversation that you're having, and it's going to be a quick one usually, if this is worth having a COI, an FTA or a next step set up. You want to, in that conversation, you want to be specific as to why you want to schedule a follow-up meeting. You want to obviously build a lot of rapport during that, and make sure you exchange contact information. All right, so that's kind of the beginning before moving on to the standard pre-meeting checklist. All right, so once you've had that meeting scheduled, I think it's important for you to look them up on LinkedIn and connect and follow them. Review their connections. Is there someone specifically you like to meet? This is going to be good topics or things to talk about in your first meeting or even in your second and third. But make sure you look at your own context as well and see if there's anyone there that you can introduce to him or her, depending on the business they're in. Obviously, you want to do the research and understand what kind of business they're in and what they do, and see if there's anyone that you can immediately contact them with in that first meeting. All right, so your COI's first meeting, all right? It's going to be either a coffee or lunch. Timing is immediate. And so I think that from the time you meet with them at an event, you want to schedule your next meeting with them as soon as possible. I say within the next week or two, if possible, just so that you can start, figuring out if this is the right COI or if this COI is someone that you should be spending time with. So that COI, that first meeting is all about qualifying and recruiting, all right? So you want to qualify to see if this is a real COI. Obviously, you had brief conversations before this, but you want to spend some time in really understanding if this person is going to refer you business and if it's going to be a good resource for you. You want to gain a commitment in meeting regularly, and so have it scheduled and even talk about it right there and then if they feel comfortable in having a regular meeting rhythm every 2 to 4 weeks. Gain commitment in wanting to, kind of looking through their LinkedIn profile and be specific about the introductions that you or him have, that you want to be introduced to and that they can also be introduced to. Model a referral ask and test to see if he or she participates in it. Have a homework discussion and message for what it is, and make sure you give them the message of what it is that you're looking for them, or that you want them to be searching out for you. Part of the agenda, obviously, you want to build rapport throughout that meeting. You want to ask about their business. And, I think asking about their business is important, but doing some research as well and understanding what they do is also key. It can help with, it can help with how you come across as how interested you are in learning about their business and what they do. Setting the stage, qualifying questions, and stuff like that. And so the model of referring, let me back up. This is the message to our COIs that we want to give them in what it is that we're looking for. And so basically it's as simple as, hey, I'd like to make connections with CFOs or CEOs and owners in local business with 50 or more computer users. And usually, ideally, we want to know if they've expressed some type of frustration with their computer system. If they say, oh, I just don't know that right now, I think it's also important to just let them know that we're just wanting to connect with them. And connecting with whoever that person is a good way, whether it's through LinkedIn or if they can give you some type of personal contact for you to reach out directly via phone or email. Some of the qualifying questions that you can ask for your COI is, who's a good prospect for them? How much of their time is spent on new business and how much time is spent on current clients and customers? Where do you typically look for new business? Who are your best sources of referrals? What is the ideal way to receive a referral? So I kind of put a list here. I think, again, the most important thing is this is for you to kind of figure out if they're worth spending your time and if they are what you want to be called a quality referral COI or a quality COI. Not every single answer to this needs to be yes for them to be qualified. It's going to be really based on how you feel this person and the relationship that you built is going. So if you feel like this person has they network a lot, they meet with a lot of the same people, then I think for me, that's like one of the most important things. And if they're talking to the right people I want to talk to, they would be considered a qualified COI for me. But again, these are just some qualified questions you can ask to figure out how you want to build out your Sweet 16. Now the referral ask. Now, again, in that first meeting, I think it's important for you guys to do some type of role play. We've talked about this. I've done it. I've also gone the option because some of them say I don't feel comfortable closing my eyes, but we can kind of go through it. So basically is, you're going to ask your COI while you're sitting with them at lunch or coffee. All right, so let's do a quick exercise if it's okay with you. And, let me know, this is just a way of us to kind of see if there's anyone we can think of within our Rolodex that we might be able to refer. So would you mind doing an exercise with me, right? And they say yes or no, they say yes. Let's just assume they say yes. All right, so I want you to close your eyes for just a second and start accessing your mental Rolodex. Again, this part is optional. Sometimes they don't want to close their eyes. I've done it both ways. And then your message to them and say, hey, I'm looking to connect with CFOs and CEOs and presidents with companies that have 50 or more employees. And as I'm saying this, is there anyone that jumps out to you? Anyone that comes to mind that you might be able to introduce me to? Again, depending on their response, right? Another thing is, how about your kid's school? How about any social or civic groups that you're in? Is there anyone in those groups that are, executives or C-level positions with companies that have 50 or more employees? Again, this is an exercise that it should go both ways. You practice it with them and then have them actually do it with you as well. If they do it with you, I think it's an important piece because at least they're kind of bought into what this exercise is, and you never know what you can get from it. I think one time I've gotten at least one or two opportunities where they said, yeah, I can think of this person. And it's gone both ways. So it could be some success there. All right, COI second meeting. This is usually a breakfast, lunch, or early dinner. Timing is about 2 to 4 weeks from the very first meeting you have. Now, the purpose of this meeting is to cultivate the relationship. And it's all about, again, building the relationship and building the rapport. So the agenda is kind of the same, but we added some additional steps for you to do. At that meeting, you want to see if they can actually introduce you to someone on LinkedIn. Model a LinkedIn introduction. Let them know what your message is on LinkedIn and how you would like to introduce them, and see if they have a method of how they do it as well. But figure out in that meeting, you want to be able to get that LinkedIn introduction, go through each other's LinkedIn and kind of go and see if there's any way that they can refer each other. In addition, did he or she attempt to do the homework? And usually the homework, I'm sorry, I didn't really get into it, but the homework assignment from meeting 1 is to see if they can actually come back to this meeting with a referral, 1 or 2 referrals. And that homework is to, for both you and for the COI to see if that's something that they can do. Now, did they attempt that? If not, spend time on looking for referrals on LinkedIn and through the Rolodex together, and make sure that you guys actually, for me, usually in the second meeting, it's important to get a referral during that meeting. If in my second meetings, if I feel that the COI has not given me a referral or is not open to going into their LinkedIn and looking for a referral to give me, you can pretty much figure out right there and then if this is someone that you want to keep on your Sweet 16 or move forward with. Do some trade-up questions, which I'll go over in the next slide, and then a commitment to a site visit. It's important that the next meeting, the third meeting, is a site visit at Ensite. And basically, you want to get them to come over to the office to do a tour, and obviously try to see if we can get them to meet with one of the executives. Talk about accountability. I think it's important also in that meeting about what the expectation is of having a COI relationship is also important. Now, how to cultivate it and show appreciation. I just used this from one of the previous slides. So you're going to want to mark your COI as a partner and active in HubSpot. Make sure you follow up on this every 1 or 2 weeks. prep for your meeting by looking on LinkedIn. Get to know them personally. How can you show appreciation? Invite to the office, which we talked about. That's something you guys you want to have established in the second meeting. Can you introduce them to one of the owners during that visit? Is also one of the key things. So maybe during the site visit, having Jason, or not necessarily Jason, but having one of the owners in the office and being able to introduce. Showing appreciation, you can leave them by thinking about them and leaving a voicemail, writing thank you cards, or sending them gift cards for Starbucks or whatnot. And those are usually from referrals that they've given you, buying them lunch or taking them out. One of the other things that's not on here is doing some type of events, right? Inviting them to some events that you go to, or that may be inside, like the webinar or something like that. So at least they can get a better feel about what it is that we do. Use the Warm 250 in clients to seek out opportunities to intro to our COIs. So these are ways for us to look at our database and see if there's anyone that we can dish out for referrals for their business. These are some trade-up questions that you can ask and that you guys can discuss. Who gives you the most referrals and who gives you the best referrals? And maybe be very specific on them telling you who they are and getting their contact information. And ask if they wouldn't mind introducing them to that contact or to that referral source. All right, the third meeting. This is at the site visit. This should be at Insight. And timing for this is about 2 to 4 weeks. The goal is to evaluate the relationship. In that site visit, did he or she ask thoughtful questions? Did they offer a connection or referral? Did they offer to show us their office or invite us to their facility to kind of show them what their business is all about? And again, in that third meeting, exchange referrals or ask for referrals. I think I put that there twice. Make sure to delete that one. Now, evaluating them and just trying to figure out if this is someone that belongs in your Sweet 16. First, you need to, again, know if you like this person, if this is a good COI that you want to connect with. Does she talk to the same people you do? Does he talk to enough of them? So in one of Gary's videos, it's about conversion ratios and ratios on how many people they actually meet, how many people they do business with COIs, how many referrals they get. So really digging deep and understanding and evaluating based on several meetings that you've already had with them, if this is someone that belongs on your Sweet 16. And at the end of it, you're going to decide whether or not if this is a go or no go in terms of them being on your Sweet 16 for your COIs. All right, I went through this pretty quick. Here's the summary. Create and build a high quality referral source. Explore and get out there and find them. Follow the process and get referrals. That's a wrap.
Nice job, Jon. Questions for Jon? Comments for Jon? Everybody's on mute. Hey, I got one for you. Can you go to the slide where it says, where you talk about HubSpot? It's after, it's.
Oh, it's right here.
No.
No, wait.
Keep going.
Here.
No. There you go. All right. So mark COI as a partner, and then as an A relationship in HubSpot, and HubSpot will remind you every 2 weeks to follow up. It's not active, it's A.
Gotcha.
And basically that's your Sweet 16. That's how you tell HubSpot this is a member of my Sweet 16. Brandon, you got anything for Jon? Okay, if you don't.
No, not at this moment. Overall,
okay.
Good though.
How about you, Robert? You got anything for Jon, Robert?
Not particularly. I think that I'm not doing a lot of this. You know, specifically bringing people in for a site visit. I'm not doing that. I've completely abandoned the close your eyes exercise. But I also have a really different networking Yeah, it's different because I have a bunch of people that I am regularly interacting with that aren't going to be a Sweet 16. So I feel like this is a great COI process, but it's a process that's specifically for hunting out the Sweet 16. There's a lot of people that I'm meeting with regularly through provisors that are not in contention for Sweet
Makes sense.
16. So a lot of these
Mhm.
steps don't make sense. So this is really about specifically not necessarily just COIs, but how to pick a Sweet 16.
Okay. So guys, within the parlance, and I know we haven't spent a lot of time on lean thinking and lean management principles and lean business principles, but there's this idea in lean of a true north way of doing things, right? I think what we're looking at here is that you've got Jon, who's successful with COIs, Robert, who's successful with COIs, and Claus, who's successful with COIs. And what we've got here is a version 1 true north that needs work, right? Jon, oh, by the way, Jon, this was awesome. I thought you did a great job. I'm going to send you the video, and we'll get it up there. And you've added some distinctiveness to it. And I great job, dude. Great job.
Thanks.
Keep that up. And then, Robert, at some point, I want to see yours, right? And I think that maybe once Brandon gets some reps, maybe next year, I think we need to revisit this thing and figure out what the ideal way is to do this. And maybe there's some nuance attached to it. Maybe Robert, to your point, maybe we treat people that we see very frequently. Maybe we need another section in here called glad handing, right? Which is kind of what I think you're talking about, right? It's you spend time with people and you do trios with them, but they're not really Sweet 16 members, right? You probably wouldn't write them a handwritten card. You wouldn't, but there's still value there, right? Just because my true north was to discount them, doesn't mean that that's the best way to do it.
Yeah,
right?
and there should be a process around those kinds of people, that's documented, not just living in lore.
Right. And what my message to this team is, we have the team to do that. I'm looking at the faces that we're going to do that. We just don't have it right now.
Yeah.
Right. So what we've got is a good list of ideas and ways of doing something. And by the way, this process, we built this in our first Monday on-site, remember?
Yeah.
Because we needed one. Because all we had prior to that was what Jason did, what Robert did, and what Jon did.
All lore.
Right. And we had varying degrees of success. So now what we've got is a process that's broken and not adequately describing what we're doing, but that's awesome. We can iterate on it and make it what we want. So, I'm going to stop there. Jon, I'm just super thrilled with what you came up with, dude. Keep that up. Just keep that up. All right. I'm going to let you guys go, but I got a couple of things to run through with you for next week. It was supposed to be our Monday all day. We are not going to do a Monday all day. We're not going to do a meeting because I'm traveling. I'm going to Philadelphia for TPG. I'll be out all week next week.
Mm-hmm. Is Mike gone too?
Shape It will be out all week next week. If you set up site visits, we'll figure, maybe it's a Josh thing. Don't take your foot off the gas, but I haven't seen a site visit in a while, right? If they come up, we'll figure it out. But for the time being, 2 weeks out of the year, Chapin and I will. Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Are you going to be completely unavailable?
No.
Are we doing huddles at 5 o'clock? Are we doing any of that stuff during that week?
No, you're on your own all week, right? So no spice. There'll be no spice the week of the 7th, right? On this coming Monday morning, if you could please just email me your results from the previous week. That's all we have to do, right? Did you make it or didn't you?
Robert and Brandon, if you guys want to just jump on at 5 o'clock, just whoever shows up, and we can just talk about stuff. We could do that.
Yeah, for 5 o'clock. Happy to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm on a time difference.
3 hours.
I'll be in Philadelphia, so you guys can have a week to yourselves, right? Spend that week using all this new shit that we've got, right? Let's just build up a ton of pipeline. Okay. Last things for you, and then I will let you go. Who's on the 14th is when we'll be together again. Who's teaching, and what are you teaching on the 14th? Don't all speak at once.
I snagged the 14th, and I'll be talking
Okay.
about research
What are you doing?
and prospects.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Okay. And that's a presentation you're going to create on your own, right?
Yep.
There's no true methods researching prospects. I'm super amped to see that, dude, because you're very creative. Okay. And then finally, for everybody, make sure to claim your spot and your slot so that we can complete all of our 90-day rocks for this kind of cycle.
And do we put the dates again? They're in HubSpot, right?
No, they're on
SharePoint.
there's SharePoint sales page.
SharePoint, yeah.
Yeah, if you go to the sales page, they're right there on the homepage. You don't have to go looking for it.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. How was this for a Monday morning?
That was good.
Let's go around the horn. Robert, how you?
Scale 1 to 10.
I say
Scale 1 to
9.
10.
I love to see you all fired up.
Yeah, I like
Fun to
seeing
see
you fired up
fly
like
handle.
this, Jay.
What's that?
You got me energized. You got me going.
You know what the thing? You know what the thing is? I need to spend time on. This is the first time I kind of decided just Sunday night just to spend some time really thinking about you guys, and we've also got this other stuff that we're doing on the marketing side, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to own. You know, if we've had down meetings, it's because I probably haven't prepared as well as I should have for these things. So I'm going to commit to working on that more.
Yeah, I want to see more of these kind of meetings from you.
Because this is what you deserve, right? If you really do, well, let me keep going. Brandon, I guess it depends on how Brandon feels. Brandon, was it shitty? I'll stop doing it if it was shitty. If you think it was shitty, I'll stop doing it.
I'm the decision maker here.
Yeah.
No, I like
Brandon.
I especially liked the Evernote like agenda thing that you had at the very beginning that kind of disappeared. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Cool. All right. How about you, John?
Oh, I said 10. I like
Scale
it.
1 to 10. Okay. Well, I'll commit to working on that because you deserve that. This team deserves that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm around if you need me. Call me on my cell phone. And Brandon, I'm looking forward to getting out with you in the field. John, if there's any opportunity for me to get out with you this week, I would love to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to put pressure on
email
you.
I think I have something. I'll take a look at this.
Yeah. Yeah. Robert, can you please share? I mean, I observed the whole time. Like I told a couple of jokes, but other than that, I just observed.
Yeah. Hey, Robert.
Yeah.
Is there any, just in case I'm free, is there any that you have available that I can tag along with to kind of see it?
Yeah. Let me see. We're talking this week.
If not next week, yeah, this week or next.
Love it.
Let's see what we got.
Why don't you guys take it offline? I'm gonna let you go. I'll see y'all later.
Right
Okay.
after this.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll team right after this.